Sketchbooks. This is a topic that a lot of you like to talk about. I have a bunch of them, and the one that we're gonna be covering today is this one, which is a sketchbook that I used in 2023. And the sketchbook itself is from Talents. You can't even see the name of the sketchbook here because it's covered in stickers. But yeah, Talents makes some really, really good sketchbooks. This one in particular has this painting from Vermeer on the cover. And I used it for about 6 or 7 months. And you're gonna see my progression from the summer of 2023 all the way to the end of the year. So, first page is white, and I'm gonna start with this page, which is a sketch that I never finished. I liked the idea, but I never liked the proportions and the style of the face, so I ended up just scrapping it. Usually, what I recommend everybody is to just really put your efforts into the first page of a sketchbook, but in this case, I just had to skip this one and go into the next one. So these first pages are from August of 2023, so this one is from the 7th of August. And here I was experimenting with more abstract stuff. Not really abstract, but you get the idea that it doesn't really represent anything. I was reading Spider-Man at the time, and I wanted to take inspiration from some of the explosions that were into the Ultimate Spider-Man. Some of the scenes I really, really liked. So I just copied and got inspiration from some of the elements and just included some graffiti inside. Um, Going to the next page, this is another interesting one that I never finished because I didn't like the bows from this character. This should have been Elastic Man from the Fantastic Four, but I never actually completed the character itself. The lettering, I kind of like it. It's older stuff, but I was starting to include more illustration elements into my letters. This is something that I reused a bunch of times later on. And here there's a ticket from an exhibition from Muka, an artist that I really love. I went to this exhibition in Prague and I just kept the ticket because it was super nice. And this is one of the very first cross-hatching attempts that I kind of liked at the time. Now I don't really like it, but still, it's one of the first interesting stuff that I was trying to make with ballpoint pen. Here is some experiments with Baroque elements on the letters. Here we have some, I don't know what this is, should be like a guy flying with a drone. And here there's like a composition page. Once again, most of my sketches are not completed because once I get to a point where I know that I won't be happy with the final result, I just move on to the next page. And I don't know if I really recommend doing so because sometimes you can still improve your painting as you go. But since I don't really use sketches in pencil, I often go with pen directly. This is what happens. So here, these are from reference, and these are all stuff that I painted from pictures of I took or from stuff I found online. I found this, um, I think I found this on Pinterest, but I mean the eyewear, not the full character. I think I found the eyewear on Pinterest. And I was like, okay, I need to do a character with this glasses on. So next, there's more cross-hatching. And here I was starting to understand how cross-hatching actually worked. And I'm not really happy with this one, but here something started to click. I like the fact that here I explored the possibilities of going abstract on the shadows. So everything that is in the shadow here doesn't really have any detail, whereas the parts that are in the light are more defined. More experiments. I don't really like this one. This is really, really bad, but I do like this one. And actually, this one is the base sketch from the wall that we painted in Germany during that summer. As a matter of fact, this was painted on the bus on the way to Bremen. This I've done. I remember when I was in Frankfurt and I had this guy in front of me in the train station. He was checking on his iPad, so I just took a sketch by looking at him. Here there's some graffiti, and as you will see, this sketchbook shows really the need I have of going back and forth between graffiti and illustration, and it's really important for me to get distracted sometimes and just take a break from doing one of the two things. And I believe that this is the key for avoiding the artist block. So every time I get stuck on letters or on illustration, I just avoid it for some time and I move on to the other subject. So here's a sketch from Yeko that I should actually finish. So let me know in the comments if I should continue this one, adding my own style on the right or maybe character. So here's some experiments with letters. Nothing too crazy about it. Here once again, scribbles. Here I was telling myself to do this on a wall. I actually did this on a wall, I think, at some point. Or like the stretched R, like this one. Oh, this one I for sure did. I think it was New Year's Eve of 2024 when I did this sketch on wall, actually. But I really like this one, and this was done straight with a pen, so extra point on the cleanness of doing something like this straight with a pen. And yeah, sometimes I flip my sketchbook all the way around because I often sketch on the metro, so it's easier, when you can put your hand on the other page instead of just being with your hand flying. So I just turned sketchbook around. So here I was actually in France, and this is a sketch by Baghdad. He's a really, really good artist. But yeah, as you will see, some of the sketches in this sketchbook are from other street or artists or graffiti writers. This one is from Songe, from France as well. Red one, Mota. These were all done under the rain. They could have been much better, but it was raining, so they were doing stuff really fast. Here I was trying cross-hatching with different spot point pen from Bic. Guy on a bicycle, painted this in Spain. More calligraphic, graffiti experiments, more stuff like that. Random character. So this is an interesting one. This was painted with line arts, which is something that I never use. As a matter of fact, this is the specific liner that I used for this one. And the brownish parts are crappy alcohol markers from Tiger. This is probably my very first experiment with acrylic paint, and here I was really not able to do this, but it was the first time that I actually primed the paper. I just used some basic roller paint for walls, but I just tried it on paper and then I painted over it, and I noticed how big of a difference it made to paint in acrylic on a primed surface instead of just painting on paper. So from here, I decided to try it again. This is just an exhibition that I went to in Prague, I believe. More experiments with cross-hatching. There's the date of where I painted the skull. I like this page. These are poses inspired by the people I see on the metro, but these are really, really stretched out. I really wanted to try out with the exaggeration of the faces, and these were the first ones that I really kind of started liking. And you can see the influence from Muka here in the background. I don't know why this one has a watermelon in a hand. Here, I really wanted to fill the whole page with cross-hatched characters, but I didn't really like the pose of this one, so I just kept it as lines. Oh, this one is terrible. Don't look at it. Painting that I've never finished. I took this picture of a mechanic while he was working, and I wanted to paint it, but I didn't really know how to do it. So these pages where I just scrap the things out or where it's just dirty stuff, your sketchbook doesn't really have to be pretty on every single page. Your development comes from practice and not from painting nice pages all the times. So this page is an example of this one. There was a nice idea here that I didn't really develop, but I just spit it out on the paper and sketch kind of works. And that's enough for me. Here was in Sweden, I believe, and this is one of my friends. And this is one of the very first sketches with multicolor pencil, with multicolor pen that I actually liked. And this is a sketch that I ended up using by changing it a lot on a wall where I painted a samurai and a dragon. This is a tiny fox character. This is a sketch from Ypsilon. Very nice guy. I don't know what I was working on here. Sometimes I write a bunch of stuff on my sketchbooks. These are more random, meaningless stuff. This was inspired by a Yu-Gi-Oh card, I believe. And this is when I started to understand that I could work with blue pen and then just use the black one for the very dark spots of characters and portraits. This one I really like it because I really studied the empty spots. I really used the white of the paper as light as it should be done. Some clothing tests. This is another one of my friends. This is a woman that came to compliment me once while I was painting, so I took a picture of her without her noticing and just made a portrait of her. Some more crazy characters. There's actually a guy jumping here. I don't know if you can see it, but here's a hand and the head is here. And I'm touching the paper as if it's all like not done with pencil because I clear coated almost every single page of this sketchbook to make sure that the pencil will just stay on the page and not move around. I really recommend you to do this. More graffiti. Trying to paint on the bus, not a good idea. This should have been inspired by Back to the Future, but I didn't really like it. Santa. Um, so here I wrote that this sketch is from several months after this page actually, but I just went back because this page was probably empty at the time. So these, I think I painted it on a wall, but without the horse. I did some other elements in the background, some like mecha elements. And yeah, portraits, characters, caricatures, however you want to call them. Still trying to understand how to use a ballpoint pen. Somebody else made this sketch. I don't really remember who. Oh yeah, so this is from October. Yeah, here I was starting to stretch the characters more. Space Invaders. These sketches are from Pend. Is one of my friends is Italian as well. As a matter of fact, is from my hometown. This is a logo from a local crew from my hometown, breaking crew. And this is a character painted with brush pen. More graffiti experiments. Here I started to do these funky arrows, which are quite similar to the one I showed you around here. So I just recycled these kind of elements, these and some of the sketches that you will see later on. This one is really a crappy page, but this one is kind of interesting. These hands are kind of interesting as well. More letters. I painted this on a wall, but I stretched it out horizontally because this is very tight, but I will do something like this. Still like these letters. What's next? More attempts at sketching characters, a weird hand. Ladies, I'm gonna skip this one. Here I tried to mimic the style of Elisa. I think her full name is like Elisa Ivanova. I bought her book and I really liked it, so I was trying to use the I don't know how it's called. It's like just like a roll of paper that you can use to smudge the pencil. And here there's more portraits. This sketch is from Lesk, another one of my friends. I really like to let people paint in my sketchbook, and I really recommend you to do so. Another one with the arrows. This one is really bad. I was trying to do this cast shadow on the face, but it's really, really hard to do. I think I will be able to do it now, but at the time I wasn't really able to sketch something like that. I'm kind of feeling shy about showing this sketchbook because most of the stuff that is in here is something that I wouldn't really like to show you if I didn't now. But the thing is, usually on social media, what you see is all polished, and sometimes it's right to show you the bad stuff, the stuff that doesn't really make the cut. That's it. Like, I don't really like this one, but I'm showing you anyways because it's part of my creative process. I was still exploring. I was still understanding how to make stuff, and I still am. So why show you the perfect completed stuff when I can show you the imperfections that led me to what I can do today? Watercolor test. This was one of the only watercolor tests that I've ever done. And here I messed up the anatomy really bad. And here is the very first proper attempt at acrylic painting, which is this one. And I did it by following an amazing free course that you can find online by Ariel Olivetti, which is an amazing Spanish artist that I really, really admire. He paints in acrylic, and a lot of the stuff that I know about acrylic painting is like has to do with his technique. Here I was painting, like following this tutorial, but he was painting something completely different. I was just trying to follow the technique by drawing something out of my will. So of just copying what he was doing, just took a picture of a statue of Hellboy and just made it my own. This was a picture I took of myself. If you don't really know what to paint, just take a picture of yourself and try to make weird expressions and try to replicate them. I think this one is watercolor as well. Here I covered something up with this sticker. more metro paintings. Oh yeah, this is actually from Loans, from my friend Loans. And here, yeah, nothing really important. Oh, here I was trying to see how it is to fade from one color to the other with ballpoint pens. And I think I have to do this kind of studies much more because I think that I could be able to paint entire portraits just by using these gradients, and it would look really, really amazing if I did this now. And here are some more practice. And you can really see like the difference on how much I improved from the beginning of the sketchbook to the end. Like I couldn't really paint the way I did at the end. And this is just in a few months of development. So practice is the key. And this is from the very end of December of last year, 2023. This is another sketch of Fend. He's amazing. And this is my caricature of him. This is from October actually, but it's the last page, so. And that's it. We close with a sketch from Wani. We were in France. It's not really an incredible sketch, but I really feel connected to this one. And that's it. This is the end of this sketchbook. I hope you really liked the video, and I hope to show you the next one, maybe next week.